Chapter 14, 96. Blurred Gray Eyes. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. After he was done resting and making sufficient preparation, Fang Yuan entered Thieving Heaven's dream realm. There was the clamoring of people around the pool where a market gathering was being held. Western Desert actually had a lot of resources, more than Northern Plains. There were large amounts of resources hidden in the desert, including goo worms and wild beasts. They only had scarce amounts of plants, which was their biggest shortcoming. So this market mainly sold food products like milk and wine, goo materials like beast skins, bones, and only 3 stalls were selling goo worms. Young Thieving Heaven was roaming around in the crowd. He observed the transactions in the surrounding while moving closer to the pool at the center of the clan. Stop. Unauthorized people are not allowed entry here. Kid, get lost. When young Thieving Heaven got near to the pool, 2 guards guarding the area immediately responded and stopped him. Young Thieving Heaven could do nothing other than to pretend to have received a shock and leave. He sighed inwardly. That pool is the only water source in the oasis. It is strictly guarded, and even though they opened a market gathering, the guards are quite alert. I simply cannot get in. At the same time, Sha Xiao's sinister voice resounded in his mind. Think of whatever ways you can get in. Don't forget, there is only a month or so left from our agreed time limit. If by then you have not made any progress, that will be the time of your death. Young Thieving Heaven's pupils shrunk as he replied inwardly, Aren't you powerful? Why don't you directly charge in or sneak in? Why let a weak guy like me gather information? You want to goad me? How could I fall for your plan? Moreover, you don't understand anything, huh? I also don't have the patience to explain to you. Grandson, quick, do as Grandpa says, talk less and do more work, then you can live a bit longer. Young Thieving Heaven could only let himself be manipulated. The enemy was strong while he was weak. He did not speak anymore except that sharp light flickered in his eyes. Previously in the well, to survive and for the hope of returning to his home, he was forced to give in to Sha Xiao. But inwardly, he had never accepted this fate. I know when to yield and when not to. There will be a day when I will find a chance to not only escape the shackles of this old demon, Sha Xiao, but also reciprocate all my sufferings. But right now, I need to endure. I need to put on a show and wait for my chance. Over the next few days, young Thieving Heaven thought of every way possible and exhausted all his strength to gather intel and try to get near the oasis pool. But all his attempts failed. The pool was the most important area in the clan. It was guarded extremely tightly. Young Thieving Heaven had only just advanced to rank 1. His means were truly lacking. Just as he was unable to find a way, news spread among his peers. What, half a month later, the clan is holding a small-scale competition, and the winner can choose a goo worm from the pool as a reward? Young Thieving Heaven also heard of this news. He immediately realized his opportunity was here. Moreover, this was probably the best opportunity for him to complete Sha Xiao's task. I need to participate in this small competition and also obtain victory, young Thieving Heaven said to Sha Xiao in his mind. Sha Xiao snickered. Silly kid, don't think I don't know what plot you are scheming inside. You want to use this to raise your strength to overturn my control? Young Thieving Heaven sneered, admitting frankly, so what? Who doesn't thirst for freedom? Good. Sha Xiao was unfazed, instead praising, You are quite straightforward, haha. If you call me Grandpa, I can help you seize this victory. You! Young Thieving Heaven stiffened, his eyes revealing anger. What? You don't want to? Think properly without my help, with your strength and aptitude. How can you win this competition? Sha Xiao sneered. Young Thieving Heaven's expression darkened. I was born as a noble. My life was filled with glory, but I have to bend my back and beg for mercy. This is a humiliation to my ancestry. I am ruining the reputation of my Sun clan. But if I don't do this, I truly won't have any hope. I am too weak. Returning home is an uncertainty. If I can't even get through this juncture, there is no need to talk about the future. Damn it! Young thieving Heaven clenched his fists, falling into extreme hesitation. Although he had called Sha Xiao Grandpa before, that was during the moment of life and death. Right now, he and Sha Xiao were separated, and there was also not much external pressure which made young thieving Heaven waver. The choice became extremely heavy and painful. Grandpa! Finally, he chose to yield, squeezing out this word through clenched teeth. Ha 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 ha. Sha Xiao's crazed laughter filled young thieving Heaven's mind. My good grandson, since you called me Grandpa, Grandpa won't let you fail. Grandpa is giving you this method to succeed. Accept it and turn it to your strength. You shall definitely win this competition. Right as Sha Xiao finished speaking, a huge amount of information charged into young thieving Heaven's brain. Young thieving Heaven immediately gave a low gasp. His expression distorted, and he subconsciously held his head. The huge amount of information continued to strike his brain. He felt so much pain that his head felt like it would burst. The information attack only lasted for a short 9 breaths of time, but young thieving Heaven felt like a year had passed. He endured it with difficulty. His whole body was covered in sweat. His face was deathly pale like paper, and he was shaking, looking extremely miserable. Sha Xiao's method was violent, but the transferred information were all authentic and of great value. Most of the contents were about fighting techniques. They were exquisite and concise. A portion was about goo recipes and usage method of goo worms, and there was even a killer move. Mortal killer move, blurred gray eyes. This move was formed by using sandpit goo, chimney smoke goo, and clear water goo. There were 8 steps to it, and once it was activated successfully, it could puff out white smoke. When the smoke landed in someone's eyes, it would cover their eyes in white ash, making them lose their sight. The person who was struck absolutely should not use water to clean their eyes. If water was used, the white ash would produce high heat that would burn the target's eyes and make them go blind. This move is so insidious, it is not my style. Young thieving Heaven's heart sank. He did not look happy. Before his transmigration, he had been born in a noble family, receiving good education since childhood. He was upright and honest. He abhorred evil. Because of this, when he transmigrated and became a poor orphan, he still abided by rules and maintained his morals, even when he had an adult's wisdom and things were unsatisfactory. Blurred gray eyes needs 3 goo worms, and they just happen to be all the goo I have. Looks like Sha Xiao had already planned to increase my strength. Young thieving Heaven did not want to practice blurred gray eyes. He put his whole concentration in the fighting techniques. He had been a warrior in his previous life as well. Although he did not specialize in close combat, he had some foundation. His true battle attainment was deep enough. Thus, he was able to smoothly progress with these fighting techniques. After a few days of practicing, young thieving Heaven felt his battle strength had soared. This world's fighting techniques are not simple, but a complete set of moves involving goo worms. Different kind of moves for different kind of goo worms. I had no one to instruct me before, so I was too weak to do anything. Now that I have obtained the skill and have practiced it diligently, I have a 60% chance of winning the clan's competition. Even if I don't use blurred gray eyes, I can take care of most competitors. Young thieving Heaven had an aversion to this unscrupulous move and did not want to use it. He was confident in himself and soon welcomed the clan's small competition. When he first stepped on the stage, the audience did not think highly of him. There were even some who ridiculed him, and his opponent had an expression of arrogance as he pointed towards young thieving Heaven's nose. So it is, you trash. Surrender now, and I won't break your leg. Young thieving Heaven was dazed, standing on the spot without moving. The audience started laughing loudly. He is afraid. He can't even move. Look at him. How did he pass the clan's exile test? Probably luck. I heard that at the crucial moment, he was rescued from the wolf's mouth by the clan's goo master. Under this atmosphere, young thieving Heaven's opponent seemed to be even more disdainful. But at the next moment, young thieving Heaven clenched his fists, feeling the strength in his fingers. I finally have control again. Fang Yuan was inwardly happy. It turned out that young Thieving Heaven's dazed expression was because Fang Yan had just gained control and had not reacted. Now that he came to his senses, he immediately attacked. Mortal killer move, blurred gray eyes. Whoosh! A large clump of white ash was puffed out at his opponent's face. The opponent could not defend in time, quickly retreating 3 steps before crying out, "Ah, I can't see anything. What is this thing? Get lost!" Fang Yuan took a few large strides before giving a fierce kick to his opponent's face. His opponent was directly kicked out of the stage. Victory!